So welcome everybody. It is Wednesday evening, January 5th, and we are back here with PG&E representatives who have agreed to come and tell us a little bit where we're at now, 48 hours after our town hall. And of course, we know that there's still people without power, but things are starting to look up a little bit. But let's see where we're at. And Jason Regan is the deputy IC for PG&E for this incident, and we're pretty lucky that he actually has some time. And so tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, Pascal, thanks for the time. And I apologize for any background noise. I'm actually in Nevada County at the county OES. I want to first say thanks to Pascal for making sure we have an opportunity and a platform to continue advance in this area. We heard it loud and clear on the first town hall, and this is a follow-up. I said I'd be in the county and we'd start partnering better. Since then, I've been here the last 2 days. Been a great experience with some of our county partners, and we'll get right into it. A couple of things that we did commit to was that we were going to improve our communication. We were going to start establishing our estimated times of restoration, and we were going to start sharing some maps and also some of the additional intelligence. And we have. The county now has greater capacity, a greater understanding of where we sit as the utility provider for all of you. We've provided our GIS maps. We've got a GIS specialist linked up with the GIS specialist here at Nevada County. And we've also got our public information officer lined up with the public information officer at Nevada County. All this information is also going to be shared to partners such as YubaNet and you, Pascal, and others to kind of push forward. So heard it loud and clear. Hopefully you're seeing a difference and we're going to be able to get through it. And again, I do appreciate that you give me a bit of time, and we're in an active county office of emergency services here. So there will be some background noise. Couple of things. So since we last spoke, our Sierra division, which is made up of Nevada, Placer, and El Dorado County, has been reduced just over about 11,000 customers impacted. When we last talked on the town hall, it was 23,000, and now we're down to 13,000, with about 8,000 of those specifically in Nevada County. Look, we recognize that the job's not done, and we got a lot of work to do here. But overall, we've made some good progress with some blessed good weather overall. We had one day of some continued rain and overcast, and then we had some beautiful blue skies today. One thing I did want to mention before we got too far into sharing a little bit on the maps, and I'll share the screen here, is 60% of our entire crew complement for PG&E is in the Sierra division, which is made up again of El Dorado, Placer, Nevada, and portions of Sierra and Yuba County also. But of that, majority, if not nearly 75% of those crews are all here in this Grass Valley, Nevada County area. It's a complement of about 250 crews. And then the last thing I wanted to share a little bit is, look, on this storm in this Sierra division, we saw just about 3,300 damaged locations. And of those damaged locations, about 1,600 of them were specifically in Nevada County alone. So kind of puts in perspective a little bit of the damages that I know many of your followers are already seeing. I'm not telling them anything they don't know, and we're seeing it firsthand. We're starting to get a hold on some of this with the good weather we've got. So would you like me to share my screen, and maybe we can talk a little bit about how it looks? Is that okay?
Please go ahead.
Great.
I believe that people are still very starved for updates and information. So a little more maps is always good. Data is good.
Yep. Let me see if I can get this going here. I know we're working live, trying to get everything lined up. So can you see my screen okay? And I've got two screens.
Yes.
So I'm looking at you on my right, and I'm looking at my maps in front of me. All right. Thumbs up. Great. All right. So first of all, I got a few things here. Let's go to the pgne.com map. So this is the one that all customers are able to interface with. And like I said, we've shared the other maps with the county. They have it, and they're going to start sharing with social providers and platforms such as YubaNet. But on this map, you can see we've got some of the outage polygons down. We still got our community resource centers lined up here, and both up here in Nevada City and down farther here in Grass Valley. We've also we're able to expand some of our resource capabilities at our base camp at the Grass Valley Fairgrounds, and we've got 3 other more sites. The Fairgrounds there is quickly becoming too small for the need, and we've partnered today to get a few more locations in hand, and we're able to get those crews moved out a little bit more efficiently and be able to make sure they got the right materials and able to get in and out of those yards. We did get a little bit of that feedback. This screen will refresh a little bit as we go through it. You can see it just refreshed right there. And really what I'm trying to show is we're starting to collapse down in these outage areas. We still have a tremendous amount of damage up in the Cascade Shores area. I was up there today, and I'll share some photos with YubaNet, get them posted. And we've got damage in our Nevada City, between Nevada City and Grass Valley. Heard a lot about the Alta Sierra, just left there an hour ago. Good collaboration with AT&T, the county providers, PG&E, our mutual aid, and also our contracted partners. Here's where I'll pause for a minute before I show the other maps. When we last talked, there was still about 70%, just under 70% of all the outages and all the impacts that all of you are experiencing had yet to be assessed. We are now done 100% with our assessment. There are a couple of small minor areas that we're continuing to validate that we know all the damages, but really 100% of our assessments are completed. And what that allowed us to do was put in our estimated times of restoration. We have various days of step restoration, 1,000 on one day, 1,000 on the next day, 2,000 on the next day, right? Just an example. What we've done is taken a line and drawn a line in the sand and said, look, our farthest out estimate of restoration is going to be on January 11th. Now, that is a small percentage of all the customers remaining. Our bulk amount of restoration is really going to occur over the next 24, 48, and 72 hours. Today is January 5th. We anticipate really about 70 to 90% of the customers restored between that January 6th, 7th, and 8th day, and then some remaining, not so much hard to access anymore because we've been able to get the access. It's really the extent of damage that we're seeing. Like I said, I just came from the Alta Sierra area and just pole after pole down the Cascade Shores area. We've got trees that remain on our facilities we've got yet to clear. And I just want to say thanks for your patience. I know it's probably run out by this point, but each and every day we've got many, many coworkers, hundreds, if not thousands, that are supporting this effort here across PG&E and really right here in your county. So the PG&E website's been updated. Every outage has an ETOR, and that ETOR is a base estimate. And what we're trying to do is pull that in based on the good weather conditions and the incoming resources that we have, ramping them up and continue to collapse those ETORs. So again, January 11th is our global ETOR for all customers, but that's really at the far end. Our bulk is going to be restored, which is many of you over the next 24, 48, 72 hours. I'm going to go to this view right here that we've provided also to the county. That was another commitment we had was, hey, we need to get these maps in the hands of our county support teams, our Cal OES teams, our Cal Fire teams, so they can also coordinate, support in the counties while power is out, warming centers, abilities to have showers and warm showers and facilities to use restrooms and other items. And also, where do we have our food banks? Where can we provide, different types of shelter for animals, other things like that. So they've got the intelligence now. On this, green and blue are actively under some level of restoration. The reds and the yellows are where we are continuing to step restore, and then we'll be assigning crews to them as we have them available. Lack of a better term, dispatching the available crews as they're coming into the county. We got about 234 and ramping up to 252 going in tomorrow. So you'll see a lot more blue on this map here. And then the last view that I'll have, if I can get it going here, apologies, I working a little bit here on the fly, is the outages by Polygon and of course by the county. Of course, here's Nevada County, and give it a second to populate. I know we've got many on that follow you beyond Nevada, but we'll focus here as that's really where most of the damage is and down along this I-80 corridor. And we'll talk a little bit about what we've got here. And I'm gonna have to get my glasses on. I apologize. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be when we're zooming in. So down here in the Alta Sierra area is still the largest hit area. We have committed ETORs. We're tracking to the January 11th. Some customers in this area will experience power remaining out until that time, but not the majority. There's crews working there tonight. I just left them, a complement of almost 30 crews that are all along. What was the road that we were on there, Brent? Down there in Alta Sierra? look that up for us real quick. Anyways, apologies, but I wanted to give you a crossroad because we were taking some photos of it to share a little bit all of you. But down in the Altus area, still some of the heaviest damages, and then the Cascade Shores area up here, up by the lake and the reservoir, up in the higher elevations has what I saw, mostly trees. We do have some damaged poles and conductor, but a lot of it still has some veg clearing. What I will say is they've done great jobs clearing the roads. Access is not the challenge like it was 2 days ago. Now it's about getting our crews out safely to the communities and starting to fix the assets that were broke. And then between Nevada City and Grass Valley, I believe it's the Spring Hill area up in this Glenbrook, was out here visiting. I know these are some of the longest durations that we have remaining. Smaller pockets, not the large customer impacts that we were seeing earlier, have been reduced down. And you can see on some of these that we were able to collapse some of the outages into a bit more smaller community street type versus the larger ones. Now, look, we do have some larger areas. These can be a little bit misleading because some of the taps are much larger and longer and have fewer customers on them, but they're more spread out compared to the more dense areas that we have in the Grass Valley area. So Pascal, I know I'm doing a lot of talking. I'd like to see if you got some questions or some other things that we can kind of answer or try to be transparent or hear any other feedback you might be hearing from your followers.
Well, the one thing is the estimated time of restoration. Of course, if you can beat the time of restoration, of course, everybody's going to tell you the sooner the better, because it is getting, well, it's day 10, so obviously. And you didn't really talk about the area, the Highway 174 corridor, where there's also a lot, the Chicago Park area, Peardale, Chicago Park, which is above the larger Polygon that you just showed on in the Red Dog and Greenhorn areas. We know the topography. We all know that it's pretty hilly, but there's a lot of people there as well. And so if they can also be more or less certain that by January 11th they have their power back, it's important to be able to plan. And you were talking about the cruise at the fairgrounds, and I know that there's been some chatter, shall we say, about there's all these crews, all these trucks are parked they're staged at the fairgrounds. Why are they not being dispatched?
Yeah, let me do this. So first of all, the 111 commitment is for all customers in our system. We have a few customers in our Humboldt division, which we're not here to talk about, but I wanted to share that do have an ETR of 112. But all customers, regardless of these counties right now, we're focused on that 111 January, whether it's down here in Placer or up in Sierra. So I want to be real clear. It's not just specific to Nevada or the Grass Valley area, and we're scaling to it. So yeah, we're aware, we're focused on it, and we're putting in, temporary power solutions. We do have some generators deployed for some areas that will allow customers to restore power and allow us to continue to repair. But 111 is the commitment to have all the customers restored. And again, look, that is our commitment to you. But there might be challenges relative to Mother Nature or other things that might occur from them, and we'll keep you updated. Let's talk a little bit about the base camp in Grass Valley, and I would say not just a little bit of chatter, but frankly some observations that, when you first look at them, I can understand the frustration, and it would look like we have just all these crews frankly sitting around. They're not. I've been in all 4 of our base camps that we have up here in microsites. There is a process that we support where we bring in incoming crews. And when we bring them in, we have to onboard them to our safety processes, our rules. We have to onboard them with the extended condition, how to show up in the communities, what type of jobs they need to be looking at. And sometimes these crews come in at different various times. And then when the whole complement of that crew comes in, or that utility provider helping us out, we then start the dispatch process, lack of a better term. Heavy influx over the last 48 hours of crews in this area. And that influx has allowed us to get them onboarded and trained. What you should not be seeing as we go forward are these large crew complements in the prime working hours, which are the sun up to sundown hours. Look, we're working through the clock, but 90% of our crew activity is on daylight hours. And as they do come into the fairgrounds, you'll see larger crew vehicles, lack of a better example, in these fairgrounds. What I will say is we are not actively standing anybody by. There are complexities in any type of event such as this one. It's historic for us that take time to safely onboard and bring in the resources to your communities. We are past that curve, and you should see that we'll be up and out in the morning and back in towards the night, with some crews working through the evening. And the large vehicle complements that were shown on some of the social platforms and media were absolutely because we were onboarding them and getting the right materials and getting the right jobs to them. Would I say that everybody shows up to the party on the first day? It's a little hectic. We got through it, and I think that's behind us, and we appreciate the feedback, and we appreciate you holding us accountable to make sure that we are doing everything we can each and every hour, not just day, to ensure that we are getting the work in the right hands of the right individuals to go out and get these repairs done safely. So I appreciate the challenge, Pasquale, on that.
It's not a challenge. It's simply the observation. And you were talking about security, and we got quite a few queries from PG&E customers who are also natural gas customers. And they're like, so if we get power back, and even for people that have other, say, propane, can anybody give us some safety advice? Should people simply try to restart their own heat, their water heaters, etc., or should they reach out and have those relit and checked before operations?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we go to pge.com, if you have that ability, if not, we can get on radio channels and we can get communication in the community. Allow us to help with the relights. Allow us to help return the gas flow and the other fuel sources as safe to do so. So we stand by ready to help when it's available in the right time to do so. But we can absolutely get the right communication out to you. We can actually absolutely use our platforms to improve it. And frankly, Pasquale, I wouldn't mind having you, if you would help, we can get you the right media, the right information, and you can share it to your followers and know that allow us to come in and help with all the needs when it comes to natural gas. That's what we do, and we've got our coworkers available and can do so.
Good, because we really, YubaNet as a platform, we are very much into emergency information, but we will also share the information with our other colleagues in the media. We have the radio station, the newspaper, because it's safety information. It's incredibly important that we do not compound the outage and all the hardship with some safety risk. So if you just heard it and your power is coming back, please reach out to PG&E. If you can, go online and check it. Once we get the information, we will put it on YubaNet and share it with everybody. But just safety is really the thing right now. Both as well safety for the line crews, the repair crews that are out there. So that's another thing. Generator safety. I believe we posted quite a few things about generator safety, so that there's no backfeeding into the lines, because that again, safety hazard. Another thing is we have all these. We're starting to see where your hotspots are. Would it be fair to say that for example, for people in Alta Sierra, would it be easier if people were if they have the option to leave for a week and come back then? Would that be in any way, shape, or form accelerate the work?
Here's what I would say, because I'm not sure. I really want to direct anyone to do anything. We got the right providers at the county and state levels that can help with that kind of advice, right? What I will say is that the roads, especially like in the Alta Sierra, are 2-lane roads and tight. And so if there's not a need to be on them, and that would actually help us, be able to get access, right? And be able to, not have to block, some of the traffic needs on those roads. What I will say is that there's options if our customers and the residents in these counties choose to want to to support them to be able to be away from their homes, great. But I just not sure I'm really at a point where I would recommend that. Our job right now is to focus on getting the power on timely, safely, and prior to 111. I know that that's what our commitment is, but I do really think over the next 24 to 72 hours, we're going to see a huge increase here on the restoration efforts. And so what I would say is, look, you got the ability to make decisions that support your needs. And we also have the ability to leverage our county and our state partners or anything where we might not be able to withstand time over the next 1 to 2, 3 days or 4 days until we get to the 11th. I would encourage you to explore those options. And we're going to continue to stand by in partnership with the county and try to avoid anyone having to leave their homes and do it in a way that's safe and ensure that we continue to provide power. So I guess that's where I would like to kind of respond to that question. Is our job is to get the lights on, get the power going safely, timely, and to pull in those E2Rs. And this is what we know at this time. And if we can collapse those in, we're absolutely going to do that. And I would encourage any customer or resident that doesn't have power right now to seek out what options are available locally. And, we stand by with those counties and we'll look to help them out. I appreciate the question.
Yeah. And another question is, of course, well, the storm was pretty well advertised. National Weather Service was for a week talking pretty loudly and intently about this storm. So the question is, so for example, when you guys do a PSPS, you then pre-position resources for restoration, for checking and re-energizing the lines. Is that something that should have been done in this case? And if yes, why wasn't it done? And is there maybe a change in procedure for you guys if the chances because I've seen your weather center that you have, and I have to say it is a thing of beauty, but do you think that you utilize those resources to the best? And what about the pre-positioning?
Yeah, so here's what I would say is we were very aware of the storm and the impacts that were being forecasted. What we did do is have our emergency centers up and going ahead of Christmas, ahead of New Year's. We had multiple emergency centers across the system activated. We call them our operational emergency centers and our regional emergency centers. We looked to bring in our coworkers that had planned vacations off them back in. We started doing interest checks on the availability of our contractors and our resources. And we felt very prepared to be able to support the event. Now, look, it's a historic event. I talked to many residents in the county. We talked to store owners and others, especially up there in those Cascade Shore areas. And I think the quote was, look, we haven't seen damages like this in my entire time here. The levels of snow at the elevations we saw and the snow loading. So look, we're going to continue to learn off of forecast and real-time events, but stand by all the co-workers, the Pacific Gas Electric, the counties, the city officials, everyone that planned for this event. And we did see a significant number of impacts, and we're trying to scale to them now. But by no means would I say that we were unaware or came up short. We did what we felt was needed at the time based on the forecast, and the damages came in very heavy beyond what we thought was going to occur, and started ramping to them accordingly.
All right. Fair enough. Maybe before we wrap up, you talked a lot about the restoration time. The aftermath, of course, of the storm also has a veg component that is significant, both for the materials that came down, and then for trees that are probably, if not weakened, still in the PG&E right away, for example. And what are the plans? Because this is, of course, it's going to be a cleanup that's going to go on for months, if not longer. What resources is PG&E going to put in to help with the green waste, the cleanup, and to get people and also education to get people that the right of way that PG&E has, that if you try and clear it, it would be great if people would say, yeah, please clear it, or maybe clear some more. So what are the plans there?
Yeah,
And then
here's what.
I promise I will let you grab some food.
No, I appreciate it. Hey, look, we're focused on the restoration right now. I saw the damages from the trees firsthand. I've seen them for over a week up here, specifically in Nevada and Sierra and El Dorado, Placer. So we've got some observations and we've got some work to do as far as taking a look at these damages, what occurred by way of vegetation, and we'll learn from them and we'll add them to our enhanced vegetation program, which is, best in class and has been for the last few years. And we'll look to address those questions and see how we can partner with landowners and communities on, removing and or supporting the additional removal of trees based on the lessons learned from this storm. But right now, I'm just really focused on making sure I understand the community needs, making sure that we do everything we can to meet the commitment relative to restoration and pull that in. We got to do better. 111 is still many days out. For many, probably of your followers and others, it still remains unacceptable. I hear that. I care for you, and we're going to do better each and every day. Today, we had a few wins. We had a few lessons learned. We had a few observations, and we're going to learn for those tonight and get better tomorrow. But right now, our efforts are just focused on ensuring that we safely restore the communities that are still impacted. But we will learn from this, and we will partner with counties and others to learn how vegetation impacted some of our assets and the road conditions and other things, and we'll pay them forward into 2022.
Sounds good. All right. Well, hey, Jason, Rob, Brent, Matt, thanks for your time. I know it's not easy. I know that the questions, they are pretty much the same, and you don't have all the answers, but at least we'll keep asking the questions, and if it's okay with you, we'll check in before or by the weekend, check in how you're doing and what else. If there's anything new by then, it should be. So let's see if we check in on either Saturday or maybe even Sunday, just to see where you're at and
You bet.
how realistic the Tuesday January 11th is. So meantime, thanks for your time, guys.
Yeah, no, you got it, Pascal. And I want to just make sure, just real quick, just look, please continue to ask the questions. This is meant to be very transparent with what we know and how we're working. It's my commitment to you, and we'll continue to do that. And we're going to get better each day, and we're going to learn from this, and we're going to continue to safely restore. But the questions are fine, and I appreciate you asking the ones that need to be answered. And when we can, we will. And when we don't have an answer, or maybe we need to go back and think about it and bring some intel back, you got our support to do that. So fully appreciate the opportunity on your platform to allow us to communicate, and look forward to another conversation.
Thanks, Pascal. And we've already sent you some information around gas relight safety that we have on our website. You can share with your followers that Jason had mentioned earlier. So thanks again for this opportunity.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.